Hello,
Hello.
coming
Holy
to you
cow.
from the future.
Yes.
Guys, we got a new
Oh,
update on
yeah, I know.
Riverside. We were gone so long, the system went and got a facelift. I mean, like full on new names, like was it nomenclature? Is that what you call? I don't even know.
Yeah,
Everything's changed. Like
everything's changed. Yeah.
the studio's different. I didn't even know how to get into this thing. I was like, where am I? Yeah.
That's what I was like, where it says join studio, like, but everything was different about it.
Yeah.
Like everything was on the right side. I don't know. And then I got in here, I'm like, is she even gonna be able to show up? I don't know where I'm at. There's no record button. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, it was funny because we've been gone also so long that all of
Yeah.
my equipment was so ridiculously tangled that I was actually on time for once. And I'm sitting here
You
like,
were on time.
I'm doing it. But my shit was, and it's still combobulated if you watch the YouTube river, but like it was intertwined so hard and I couldn't figure out how to even reposition my mic. Like I didn't even, like, I was trying to like fit it in and yeah, I was like having a panic attack. I'm like, I finally made it. And then I couldn't even get it on. So it was my luck, but whatever.
Yeah, updates, hopefully we'll figure it out. Sometimes they're good, but takes a little bit of time to readjust for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. It
Yeah.
looks nice. And I think it'll be just fine. But it was weird. I mean, let me tell you guys, I really was lost a little bit
I
because I
wonder if
did not
they've
practice.
Yeah.
I should have done a test run, but I was not expecting it.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's been, well, I don't know, a month or so since we've done a podcast, I think. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Maybe their editing and stuff. Did you think they updated that?
Probably.
Yeah.
So I will have fun.
Yeah.
Now I know, though, I will give myself long
Yeah.
time, ample amount of time to discover the process.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably right after this, I will look because I do not want to do my usual, like, oh, yeah, I've got it. And then it be completely not it. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to be back though. It's
yeah,
been,
I'm glad to be back too. And I'm glad you're back.
yeah, back in the saddle.
I was about to say back in the saddle. I was back in the saddle.
That's the
That
name.
was
That's what people say.
That's
I
what
don't know.
came in my mind too, so I'm with you. I don't know, maybe it's definitely it, back in the saddle.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Should we just talk about why we've been gone? Well, I'll tell you why I've been gone. Gosh, my mom got ill, which I've been talking about on the podcast in February. But things progressed with her illness and basically had to get her out of an environment in Vegas that wasn't good. And so it's amazing what happens when it's meant to happen, though. This is the
Mhm.
craziest part is, since my mom got sick in February, everything that we seem to try to do medically or anything in Vegas was just so hard. Nothing
Mhm.
aligned. Nothing was working. Nothing was easy. Like everything was just like throwing up roadblocks the whole time.
Mhm.
My mom, I happened to be on a work trip. My cousin had gone to be with my mother because I had to go to this work trip in Atlanta. On Tuesday, my mom finally made the decision to come to my home so I could take care of her with end of life care with hospice, right? She was
Mhm.
getting to that
Mhm.
point. And I had told her when I was there the week before, like, you really need to start thinking about this. Like, you're
Mhm.
probably going to have to come to my house. Like, this is not sustainable. And she made that decision on a Tuesday. And I am telling you what, like, how things worked out that quickly.
Mhm.
And I'm in Atlanta. I find a medical transport easily because she had to be medically transported.
Yeah.
There's no way she could be in a car that long. Just everything, getting her set up here with hospice care, getting her doctor to get the paperwork done from Vegas, getting all the powers of attorney done. I mean, I'm doing all of this remotely and it
Mhm.
just was easy. Like nothing, there was not a lot of roadblocks. I had
Mhm.
angels come to help me. Angels on earth is what I mean. Like,
Mhm.
you know, we had been talking about getting me power of attorney for since she got ill. And it just
Yeah.
seemed like every time we tried to do it there, nothing would work. Well, I called my cousin who, we talk off and on, but we haven't really been in each other's lives for years, as a
Mhm.
daily thing. And she has been in this, she's been a peace officer forever. She called, got a note, she got it all lined up for me. and it
Mm,
happened within 24 hours. It's
mm,
just, like, amazing how when things are meant to be, they just are flowing,
yeah,
and it was just unbelievable. So, anyway, that made me feel like I knew this was the right time. This was the
mhm,
right decision to make,
yeah.
because things had happened so easily. So, anyway, I was here at home for the last month taking care, well, it was about 2.5 weeks before she transitioned. May 20th, she transitioned to the other side or wherever she is, and I think she's being a light being. That's what I think right now,
That's cool.
because she said she needed to be or rest for a while. But
Hmm.
and then I took just a few weeks off to recalibrate and let myself be sad or
Yeah,
mad or
yeah.
whatever other emotion was gonna come up, and they still do come up. But
Mhm,
it's been it was telling Myra a little bit about it before we started to record. It was like it was well, we talk about this all the time, like, there's contrast, right? There's beauty and pain, and there's, love and heartache, and, those couple of weeks with her were just unbelievably priceless to me. My mom's lifestyle was one that didn't lend itself to me just being able to go to her home and hang out for her husband and different reasons. Like, I just couldn't go there and watch a TV show with her or watch a
mhm.
movie or have a Coca-Cola or a Bud Light. She loved those. But this gave us the chance to just have some conversations and, like, watch HGTV, and that sounds so crazy, but I got those moments that I hadn't been able to have with her in years, you know?
Mhm,
So, one of my friends this today when and she works with me as well, asked me, like, "Was it hard? Like, was she mean?" And I was like, "No, it wasn't hard. It was hard because I was taking care of her like, she needed my care like a child, she couldn't do
mhm.
anything on her own, and that but it really wasn't hard. It was, like, such a she was very kind and appreciative and, it was I wouldn't call it hard. Challenging, yes, and was I tired? Yes, but I just tried to remember every moment that we got, as something I wanted to be as present as possible for, and
Mhm.
it's been man, I would really recognize too, like, in the evenings or whatever, if I sat there and she would be asleep, or sometimes you'd think she was asleep and then she'd pop up, like, she knew what was going on. I'm not joking. Oh, this is hilarious. So we think she's sleeping in the bed right there. She's in
Mhm.
my living room.
Yeah.
And so I tell my husband, I'm like, well, we might as well watch, like, I would record Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's just turn that on. As soon as that show
Dun,
started
dun,
on,
dun, or I don't even know
yeah,
if that's the right.
I don't know. But she's like, Landman. She wanted to watch Landman.
She said
She
turn
had
this
this
shit
big
off.
series, the Landman series on my TV.
Yeah.
And, like, she's like, I hate that show. Landman, put it on.
That is so funny. She's like,
So funny.
I'm not playing damn games.
Yeah, she's like,
Put
"I
that
hate
shit
that
back
show."
on.
Yeah, it was great. We just had so many little moments like that it was awesome. But
Yeah.
going back to being present, I would, like, really try to stay off my phone, and even since she has gone, I've really been highly aware of how distracted I am, or I was. I'm really trying to work on it instead of being really present with the situation, and I think what made me think about it was here I am knowing full well my mom's dying. Like, this isn't a month, this is days or weeks.
Mhm.
And I still was drawn to not be present. Fuck,
Yeah.
that's horrible to admit.
Mhm.
But I was
Mhm.
like, that is really something I got to look at, you know?
Yeah.
I was gifted with the fact that I knew this information, right? I knew she was passing.
Mhm.
So often we don't have the heads up. We don't know
Mhm.
when somebody's time is going to expire. And so we waste so much time, you know?
Mhm.
And I just think I don't want to live with regret. So I'm going to try to really work on that. That's one of the things I took out of it.
Yeah.
Your picture went away.
I know. I think we'll come back. Just can you hear
Got it.
me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna keep going. I think that we'll
Yeah.
come
You're
back.
good.
I don't know what's happening. I
Did you plug in?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is
That's
nothing
a
different.
little
This
Oh,
is
there isn't. I got red dots too. See, I was, like, looking at the little flashy
Mhm.
red dot on the left-hand side of the screen, but I've got them too.
Yeah, it says that it's mad at me, but I think I'll come back.
Yeah, it
If
says,
you can still hear me, okay.
"I can hear you."
Alright, it fixed it. Alright, we'll keep going.
Yeah, we'll go.
I was gonna talk about my grandma, and then technology got weird, so I probably think it's her. So I'm not
Her
gonna lie.
telling you not to talk about it?
I don't know. I don't know. I had someone once, I honestly think it was you, who said that, like, she fucks with my technology. I don't know, and I've thought about it for a really long time, and I never forgot about it, and so I don't know if that's
Maybe
true.
I do, but yes, they can't because of yeah, they mess with electronics pretty easily because it's the
Yeah.
vibration, but maybe it's her telling you, "Talk about it." I don't know, up to you.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I don't wanna talk about it because it's not the same, it's like, "It's not the same, it's not the same," and I'm like, "Maybe I'll just leave it be and forget, move on," but apparently, maybe I need to talk about it. So, yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that, 1, the act of what you've done is so, so selfless, and until you've been put into that situation, you really do not know what it's like, and yes, it is very similar to taking care of a baby, but one of the parts about it, though, is, like, it's just it's different still, and I've been in both situations, like, I was not the child giving care to the parent, but I did witness what it was like for a child to give care to their parent, and I do know what it's like to have someone have to move into your home and engage in end of life care, and I watched what that looks like, I watched how that interaction goes, I watched what it can do to an individual who has to see their parent like this. It's just very, very, very different, and my dad took care of my grandmother, and it went on forever. It went on for a year, like,
Yeah.
it went on a long time, and my dad died a year after. So, it was not very long after, and then he also transitioned, and, it was a hard year. It was a beautiful year, and she was not mean either. She was joyful, like, at times, we had John Wayne blankets laying on her, we because she loved TV and shit, and,
Yeah.
like, she was a smoker her whole life until the end, and so she couldn't do that, but she loved watching TV, so I think about those I can I relate in that sentiment of, some of those moments I think about were very beautiful moments. I think about the time my father got to have with his mother in such a beautiful setting and what that he was able to do for her, and I saw how difficult it is in bearing, like, it's just a lot of to hold. It's a lot to hold, it's a lot to deal with, it's a lot to process, it's a lot, especially if you're engaging with health nurses and there's a whole level of other shit, literally shit that happens. And like, there's just this whole behind the curtain reversal, right? Like, there's just this whole thing. And so I think it's so beautiful. I'm deeply saddened that she transitioned, but I do believe in divinity. And I think the way that this unfolded is just so beautiful and that you were able to engage in this with her. And I feel like it's so healing in so many ways, like, it could have even healed part of your inner child. You know what I mean? There's just so much, even for her and for you, and to close this karmic cycle of you 2 together in this lifetime, and, I don't know, I can't think of a more beautiful way for an individual to transition or for a person to be engaged with someone they have such a close relationship with as they transition, and, I felt like when my grandma passed, because of the time we all spent with her and my dad, he was sad because his father had passed and then he was alone, and so he
Mhm.
went through
Yeah.
this, and he was a sentimental person too. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm alone." And so like, anyways, and so he went through these feelings, but we all celebrated. It was such a joyous time because we yes, we mourned. Yes, there was grief, but at the same time, there was joy to be found in this moment. And she was in her mid-60s. I think she was like 65. Like, she really wasn't old.
No.
She was really
Mm-mm.
young, and it was a time to just celebrate. And so I feel like there's not a good way to die, but or to transition, but I found it peaceful. I don't know, I can't speak for you, but I find it so peaceful to transition this way, and what a joyful way to move on for I don't know. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, there's so many little blessings or little gifts that we were given for her to be able to come here. One was she got to see all 3 of her siblings that are still alive. Her one brother lives in Arkansas, he didn't make it. She got to see some of her nephews and nieces. She got to experience some of the things that she hasn't been able to experience in a long time,
Mhm.
and just have this family time and this I read some of her messages. She'd sent a message to she had a gal down there that was coming in to do IVs to her home when she was still in Vegas, and she'd just text her and said, "Thank you so much for your help, because she
Mhm.
was such a kind lady. My family's taking care of me." And she felt safe and comfortable, and
Mhm.
that was a gift to give her, and it's funny, you were talking about your grandma and her smoking. So my mom loved cigarettes, like, that
Mhm.
was her jam, right? And so there were 3 different times in the course of the 2.5 weeks she was here, that she wanted her cigarette. And if Myra know, I'm not a fan of smoking, I hate the smell of it. I mean, no one's ever smoked in my home, ever.
Yeah.
And, she first said to me, it was I think my family was here, her one sister was. Yeah, Friday when she got here on a Tuesday, and she's like, "Alright, I need a cigarette." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I need you to get my cigarette out. Take this oxygen off, turn it off, I'm gonna smoke." I'm like, "What?" And my first reaction, Myra, was like, "No, no, you don't smoke in my house." I mean, the woman can't stand up or move, right? She's
Yeah. Mhm.
bedridden. Well, then I was like, it just, like, hit me, like, who the fuck cares? She's gonna take a few puffs of a cigarette. So I, take her oxygen off, turn off the machine, open the fucking window, get her cigarette out of her purse, light it up. So she'd smoked 3 different times in my house, and she didn't even smoke the whole cigarette. But
Yeah.
it was just like, really, in the grand scheme of things, just who gives 2 shits, right?
Yeah.
But my first reaction was, "No, no one's." She was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sure Troy smoked in here." When would Troy smoke in my house? He doesn't smoke. Like, he smokes
I was
cigars
about to say, did he
sometimes,
even
but,
smoke? I didn't
like, what?
I was like, "When?"
Yeah, it's wild, so,
That is
yeah,
so funny.
but
I'm
and
glad you did it.
yeah, I'm glad I did it too, and I sat there and hold her little ashtray for her, and she'd take a puff and cough her lungs out, and take a puff and cough her lungs out, and she's so funny. She's like, "Well, I just need to see if it still tastes good." It didn't taste that
My
good. Maybe
god.
I'm losing my like for it.
That's so fucking funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, I don't know why my dad probably did let her smoke in secret, not with my mom around,
Yeah.
but I have no idea what unfolded. I'm sure he did, but yeah, my grandma would smoke cartons of GPCs, not a
Uh,
pack, a carton a day.
yeah,
So, like, I get it. Yeah, the cigarette thing is just so funny. It's so funny,
it's so
like,
funny.
but I get it. I mean, hell, I'd want a Coke Zero on my deathbed. I don't
Yeah,
know, I need
I
it.
know.
Hit it,
Exactly.
whatever. That's awesome. It's funny, this is so random, but I've been on a I've been buying gemstones, folks. I don't know, I go through phases of shit, and lately my obsession have been gemstones. But anyways, I bought a heart flower agate, like, dish. I don't know, I'm not like a heart girl, but whatever. I needed it, I guess. And flower agate is like new beginnings, blossoming, feminine energy, whatever. Anyways, it came in the mail and I shipped stuff to my mom's house because it's just more convenient. And when I went to go pick it up, I opened the box and her husband goes, "Oh, did you get an ashtray?" So hard. I was like, "No, this isn't a fucking ashtray." But like, why would I have an ashtray? Like, it just made me laugh. This made me think about it. You said holding the ashtray, and I'm like, well, I guess I
Well,
got one.
basically a
I've
broke because
left.
I didn't have an ashtray either, I just made one, yeah.
Yeah, but I have laughed so hard thinking about that because I was like, I don't smoke. I mean, we do cigars every blue moon, but
Yeah.
like I'm not out here with cigarettes. Like, I don't it was just so funny. Anyways, it made me think about my little bowl, like,
That's
the
hilarious.
ashtray, I don't know. So, anyways.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the other thing I thought of when you were talking about your grandmother is and thinking about, they're fully dependent on you for everything, or my mom was, she couldn't move really at all without my help, and she didn't lose her sense of humor because
Yeah.
here's a woman, I'm changing her briefs, and she would be like, "Well, be careful, there could be a chocolate surprise in there."
My god. Yes,
And I'm
I'm
like, "Thank you
sure she did.
for making it light," because
Yeah.
one of the things she told me throughout this 4-month deal was, we've gotta joke, we've gotta have some fun. Everything can't be so serious, and so I was grateful that, even in her state of weakness and being completely dependent on another individual, she could still find humor in it. That was really good.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was telling Tressa I had a massage. It sounds so weird. I don't know, but she's cool and she's a light worker. And so sometimes she gets messages and they always who doesn't want to have messages from those who've transitioned, right? Like especially me. And so I'm great for that. And I hadn't had anyone in a hot minute that is energetically entwined with the being, give me messages in a very, very long time or anything in a minute, and I wasn't expecting it. And my dad came through. But the reason I'm bringing this up specifically, she shared like, she sees things in images or like stories or a depiction, right? And so there was a whole story around it that she shared with me. But what I was wanting to share here is that at the end of it, I was getting my clothes on, like normal people do after a massage. And she's like, dude, he won't leave you alone. Like, he won't go away. And I was telling Tressa, I'm like, and Tressa knows, because anytime that she's ever been in my energy and he's showing up, he'll fucking start at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, he's there all day.
She's there, yeah.
And yeah, and he just was annoying in this life and seems to be annoying in the whatever, wherever he's at. In a funny, hilarious, annoying way, right? And so, but what he did say though, he was just so happy, but he said, "Be silly, just stay silly, and just keep your humor about you." And so I love it. That's what made me think about it when you're talking about your mom. And so, like,
Yeah.
I feel like that message just needed to be shared. Like, we go through so many cycles of life, and we go through different things, and then we're always in different situations, and even our hardest moments or toughest trials or when shit just feels horrible, like that beauty of humor and like being funny and being silly, it holds so much power and it holds so much. I don't know. I think it's like the highest vibration that I can personally be in is when I'm the silliest, when I'm funny, when I'm having a good time. And like, so I love that even during the situation with your mom, she could keep her humor and you could keep your humor and make it. I'm sure there were moments of all sorts of feelings, but
Yeah.
when you could laugh and have fun and enjoy and be in joy, just like I think that to me, it shows the opposition of life. Like to know sorrow is to also know joy. To be able to experience both and to be able to experience both together is the most human thing ever. It's
Yeah.
why we're here, why we have these connections and relationships. And so I think that's really special that she could crack jokes and be funny and be yourself. Like, you want to be yourself in those moments as much as you can, and
Yeah.
I think she was an authentic lady and she was till the end. So,
Yes, she was an authentic lady, and I love that about my mom, and that's something that I haven't always been able to accomplish that level of authenticity. I have to really be aware, and I wanna do a better job of that, and yeah, another funny thing was the Golden Knights were playing in the hockey semifinals to go to the
mhm,
Stanley Cup. No, this was the series before that because they were playing the Ducks, the Anaheim
mm,
Ducks.
mhm,
We had that game on, and my mom was so funny. I said, "Yeah, mom, like, they're playing the Ducks, but we've always been Vegas fans because we go to Vegas to see my mom all the time, right?"
yeah.
And she was like, "Well, I closed the book on Vegas, so quack, quack." And son of a bitch, if the Anaheim Ducks didn't win that night. They sure did.
Oh my gosh, I love it. She's like, "I fucking blew that popsicle
Yeah,
stand."
that's
Yeah,
right.
y'all are holding on to bullshit.
You're
Yeah,
on
like,
your own with that shit. Quack,
yeah, she's
quack.
like, "That is awesome." Well, I mean, hey, you know what? When you were talking about that in the beginning, I like that's the best example of this ever is when you finally let go of holding so tightly to something. When she was stopped being in resistance of leaving Vegas or
Yep.
staying with her husband or staying in this environment or the cats or whatever the fuck she was holding on to. I don't know. And once she finally let that go and was ready to just be like, you know what, this is not it. Like how amazing everything just unfolded and how easy everything unfolded when she stopped being in resistance and then the rest of it could just flow. And I think that that's just a powerful lesson. And I think that being able to witness that too, obviously, she must have realized it, like, hey, I cut that cord. Yeah. I mean, and she did. She closed that book and said, forget it and let it go enough to be able to move where she needed to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can't imagine, it would be I've not been in that situation, so it would be hard. I know when she first got hospitalized in February, her and I, we talk about spirituality, and she had, gifts like I do as far as like connecting. She would get a lot of premonitions and dreams, and they would usually, they've always come true. But she and I had a moment in the hospital where it was just her and I, and she told me that my mom was a big meditator,
Mhm.
and she said she was in a meditation in December, and Archangel Gabriel came to her and told her she needed to get her stuff in order. This was gonna be her last Christmas. She had another assignment. And and she's like, "I just was so like, if I get my stuff in order, I'm going to die." And she's like, "So I didn't
Mhm.
wanna do it. I just kept pretending that wasn't going to happen." And I was like, I get it. How scary would that be in accepting, your time
Mhm.
is coming, but nothing is going to stop divine timing. Like that was also a lesson for me, Her avoiding it didn't stop it. Her
Mhm.
avoiding it didn't change the outcome. But it had to be her process and her time to make those decisions and close those chapters and release those, what's the word I'm looking for? Those deep attachments, right? I think about that quote by Buddha, attachment's the root of all heartache. And when we're too
Mhm.
attached to something, it really can impact us being able to let these things happen. So it had to be in her timing. And I know it was the right time for her because, like, I thought there's no way. The one thing I thought would keep her there would be the cats because she
Yeah.
loved her cats. But she wasn't even that. It was just like once she made the decision, she even told me, she's like, "Aren't you pretty impressed about how, like, I've just been able to detach from the cats?" And, like, I said, "Yeah, actually, I am." Like,
Yeah.
there was no major conversation. There was no, "Oh my god, I'm gonna," it was just like she was really able to disassociate. And when we were leaving Vegas in the transport van, the medical van, she like, did a little motion. She had her arm out and she, like, went like this. She wanted me to watch. She's like, "See, I'm closing the book on Vegas." And I think she needed to do that for herself
Mhm.
to, allow her to come here, and she knew it wasn't gonna be long, we had talked
Yeah.
about it. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'd be if Archangel Gabriel came to me today and said, "Get your shit in order." Yeah, I mean, I don't
You're
know how
like,
I'd react either. Maybe I'd fight the shit out of it too,
yeah, I know. I'm over here like, damn, she's cool. I didn't know. That's cool. I'm like, damn, how did people get that? Like, I don't. I mean, don't. I'm not inviting,
Yeah,
but don't tell me those things. But it's like, wow, that's cool. Yeah, I honestly would be in resistance too. I think
yeah,
about dirt. So I could name you a million times in my life. Not, I mean, I shouldn't say a million, but there's several times where I've fought really, really hard to avoid what I absolutely knew what was happening. And so I couldn't imagine it being a true end of life and a knowing of end of life. And whether or not, no matter how spiritually prepared you are, regardless of what your spirituality looks like, I don't I I have a hard it's that unknown part, right? Like, it's still
Yeah.
unknown, like, and
Yep.
we have attachments, like, I have attachments to my life, I have attachments to what I'm doing, I have attachments to my children. I have a whole group of people that I look at in the eyes, you know what I mean? Or, like,
Yeah.
there's people I love or things I do or things I enjoy or damn cigarettes, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, there's a
Yeah.
million
No, I know.
things, and then to have the note that deep, profound, and a beautiful experience and a beautiful knowing, I would be in resistance also. So I feel that, you're right. Like, it had to unfold in her timing for her to act and to make those decisions. It probably made it harder than it needed to be, but it made it to where it was for her to accept. And so for her, it was a cutting of that cord, that the detachment to be in true surrender. And I mean, that's a hard concept to master. And
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that she could do that when she
Yeah, I
did.
agree. Yeah, it's interesting how when you're listening and you're tuned in, and you get these messages because I remember when after I got back from Vegas after she was hospitalized for the 10 days when they found the tumors and I was actually sitting in my hot tub, I won't forget it, and I could feel because I connect to water. I'm a
Mm,
Cancer, so I feel like
yeah.
I I remember my guides just showing up. I wasn't even trying to connect to my guides, but I connect to them a lot. So they just showed up and one of their messages to me was this you're an admin in this situation. You're there to facilitate things for your mom. Like doctor, you're an admin. Like that's what
Mhm,
they kept showing me, an admin. And the other thing is it's not going to be easy because this is karmic energy that has to play out between her and her husband, and you're not gonna
mhm,
like watching it, but it's not yours.
mhm,
Disassociate from that and just be the admin, and honestly,
mhm.
that's what I was. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I ended up doing,
Mhm.
and they, like, basically kinda gave me a full warning, "Don't let it destroy you because it's not yours, and you can't
Yeah.
stop the chaos that's going to ensue between them." When it was chaotic, you know?
Yeah. That's
So,
cool.
really glad for that message. I just
Yeah.
think when we're tuned in and we can hear and we can understand and trust it, you know, it does it helps us even when it's not the easiest thing to accept.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I think I don't know, I mean, a message I'm taking from this is just to really be in tune with yourself and how precious it is to be present and to tune into yourself, your knowing, to really be in alignment with what is unfolding for you in your highest good, connecting to. I mean, you just shared multiple stories, right? Where there's
Yeah,
situations that you found peace in the connections that you've already built, peace in trust, right? She did trust it, whether or not she wanted to participate in the message, she still trusted the message. She knew it was going to
she
happen. So
did.
she did
Yeah.
trust what was being presented to her. And so I think that that's just a beautiful thing, like trusting our inner knowing, trusting what we know, trusting what we're being told, not it's sometimes it is hard to fight against it when you get the non-answer you want or the message you didn't ask for
Yeah.
in situations, but, like, how beautiful it is that, like, I just had this conversation with someone, we were talking about spirituality, and I was like, "There are so many energies out there that just truly wanna help you." Like, they just really wanna help you. Like, what it could be the fairy in your backyard, for example. I don't know, but, like, whatever you're connecting to and however you show up and give gratitude and you call on these energies that just really wanna help you and that are there for you, like, really connecting to that and just trusting and listening and knowing and being presented and how beautiful those experiences can be to be I find that protective to in my opinion, like, to have that much of a relationship, to be given that much knowledge and the knowledge to help you to move through this path in the way that you did, and so that you didn't have to exert your energy or be reactive or be caught up in the mess or, when things were going south, I'm sure your mom remembered, "Oh, well, I had that meditation, this now I kinda figure this is happening." So, it gave a different piece of comfort probably for her too, I don't know, I mean, I can't speak for her, but to me, I would find it comforting once I started rolling, the ball started taking course in knowing, "Okay, now I understand." And so I think that that's just really I think that's a special message just to
Yeah.
like we talk about meditation, we talk about I know you do and we talk about it on here and it's like connect. I don't know, but like look how cool it is when you connect, like
Yeah.
what happens when you're present and you're in stillness and you listen and you trust and like how powerful we are, but how powerful those are around us who truly love us and support us both here present in like physical form, but also the energies around us too.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's just taking the time to be present and listen to yourself and then trust it, That's sometimes the hardest part to because what you're saying, Mara, is sometimes we're so attached to a different outcome that we don't, we're not gonna hear what we don't wanna hear, you know?
Yeah.
And I get that too. Yeah, it really interesting. On our way down here in the van, one of the things that she was telling me was she wanted me to watch this movie with her. She'd told me about this movie on YouTube a few months before,
Mhm.
and I think his name's I know it's I always wanna call him Daniel, but it's like anyway. Mhm.
Mm.
Brinkleman or Brinkelhoff. Anyway, I've listened to a lot of his content, and he has written multiple books, and he wrote one called Saved by the Light that she read, but he had of this YouTube video about he had been a really crappy individual in he was
Mhm.
just a dick, and he was struck by lightning, and he was, dead for 28 minutes,
Mm.
and they brought him back because he had a mission, right? So he was so he wanted to continue because he was so happy on the other side. He, like, had other health issues, but he just had this mission that he couldn't stop. Like, he's like, "Yeah, just keep me dead. I'm happy you're dead," you know?
Yeah.
But he had this video on YouTube, like a movie about an hour and a half called Saved by the Light, and it was so important for her to know that I could watch that, and so this was one of the coolest things. I'll probably cry here, but going to Vegas on Mother's Day, when I try to go see my mom on Mother's Day, I don't know, you guys, it never worked. There'd always be something happen.
Mhm.
It just was always a train wreck.
Mhm.
So, Mother's Day, I turned on that movie. We got to sit there and watch it together. It made her feel that I felt at peace understanding that this which I already do, but I know there's an existence after this. I know there are things happening that my monkey mind doesn't understand and my eyes can't see and my hands can't feel and my tongue can't taste. And so, we got to do that together and just have a calm I got to spend my whole day with her. I've never had that in years.
Mhm.
I can't remember the last time that happened.
Mhm.
And so that was a cool experience and she felt good that I was able to connect to that. And, you know, we talked about the afterlife and if she was scared and, it gave us a good dialogue too. So that was a really cool thing too.
Sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, this is why we haven't been podcasting, but we're back now.
Yeah. That's so sad. It's so sad, but it's so sweet.
Yeah.
I find comfort in your experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find sadness and comfort for
It's
you
all
both.
the things. Yeah.
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 It's a spectrum of emotions.
It is. Yep. It really is. Yeah. What? Kathy, my good friend, best friend, she was texting me like, how are you doing? How are you really doing? And I'm like, well, I guess the only way to tell you how I'm really doing is it's like an ocean,
Mhm.
like sometimes the waves are just little beautiful waves, and it's
Mhm.
just peaceful. And then the next thing you know, you're feeling like you're being crushed by the weight of the wave, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to cause it or where it's going to come from. And it's just like a storm has hit
Mhm.
you and this 1,000-foot wave is on top of you. Like, that's how it
Mhm.
is. Like, that's how I feel. I don't know what else to say. I think that's
Mhm.
gonna be the way it's gonna be for a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I know that feeling, and I think that's the best way to describe loss.
Yeah.
or grief. I think that's the absolute best way, where it's like the wave of, I don't know, like even small tears or joyful or like happy, or it's like a small release, or like good emotions, or just not even tears. Like there's the spectrum of feelings, right? And then there could be moments of soul crushing. I just don't want to breathe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that you're going through that, but I like
No,
that
I know. Silly,
explanation.
yeah.
I'm so glad you're fucking miserable.
I've had miserable moments, trust me.
Oh,
That's for sure. But anyway. All right. Well, this was good. It felt good to get back on here and we'll start doing this again probably weekly like we had been as
yeah,
a plan. So
yeah,
anyway, I hope listener land's happy to have us back.
yeah. They've been searching.
I know, I think they probably have. Like, where have those 2 been?
We haven't heard some weird shit in a long time. Like, where did it go?
Hilarious. So, anything else before we end? I gotta remember if I can remember how we end this show, Myra.
Keep your vibrations high, and
Yeah,
then the stay sassy. Yeah,
that's right.
I had to think about it.
I do too.
I wanna end it the old way a lot. So I have to tell myself, it's even though it's been a full ass year and a half, almost, I don't even know where we're at, a year and a couple months, I still want to end it the old way, and I have not recorded an episode for that in even longer.
Oh my
So,
god, I know. Our old podcast, Authentic Wyoming, that we did for our job together.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I wanna say, "And stay authentic."
stay
I
authentic.
every time, and I have to be like, "That's not it." Like, "This is not the wrong one." Like, that file has not been dumped. I have no idea why. I'm
We
holding hard to it.
keep your
So,
vibrations way high and stay sassy and
yeah,
authentic. No, it doesn't work. Nope.
no. I'm surprised I haven't said it by accident, to be honest, but I
Oh,
fight it.
that's funny. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations way high.
And stay sassy.